welcome to this episode of my Women Empowerment Wednesday show. My name is Jessica DSB. Enjoy this episode.
We are live. It's Women Empowerment Wednesday. Welcome. It's Wednesday, and I'm super excited to be joining all of you today. If you're going to be watching live, please type live in the comments. If you're going to be watching replay, type replay so I know you're joining us. Replay and watch and enjoying the time with us together. So if you're just seeing me for the first time, my name is Jessica. Who am I? I am a 2-time best international selling author. I'm an entrepreneur and a women empowerment advocate. I am the founder of the Women Empowerment Wednesday show. What is the Women Empowerment Wednesday show? It's a show that's been going on for more than a year already. Episode 47 today with our very special guest that I'll get to introduce you in a minute. The Women Empowerment Wednesday show is a weekly Facebook Live on Wednesday where we have empowering, touching, inspiring conversations. And not only with me and the special guest, but to bring upon a movement where we can bring those conversations that you're hearing today in the lives of the people that you care about. So I'm inviting you to do so. If you're going to be watching with us today, share the video, join my Facebook group. You see all my other episodes as well. The easiest way to watch all the episodes until now is my YouTube channel, Jessica DSB. I am so excited. So welcome everybody that's joining us today. And I am joined with a very, very special friend of mine, a very special mentor of mine, and Mr. Gordon. So yes, I'm receiving all the love already. Welcome. So who is Mr. Gordon? So Mr. Gordon So is a serial entrepreneur. He has a strong background in real estate, mortgage industry, 20 plus years in direct sale network marketing industry. Woo, impressive. Helped companies successfully launch in multiple countries. And in the last 10 years, moved into personal development space. And we're going to talk about that today, and has helped launch the careers of hundreds best-selling authors, speakers, and coaches. Congratulations. He's helped also launch many brands as Business Wealth Summit, Action Think Tank, Social Media Currency, many more. And he's currently the co-founder of Landed for Success, a company dedicated to personal development and growth of all the members within the group. Very impressive. Most importantly, he is a family man and loves to help people. Please put your hands together and help me welcome Mr. Gordon So.
Wow.
Welcome.
Jessica, I love your energy. Wow. Thank you. For a minute, I thought you must be talking about my brother.
No, I'm talking about you. Welcome. And thank you for being with us. Thank you for accepting to be part of the show today. For those that are just seeing you for the first time, please share a bit more about who you are.
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Jessica. It's 1 year now, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, it's incredible. It's incredible. I've been watching your growth. I've been watching how your confidence. I mean, everything about you, how you have literally in a year's time become a butterfly. And the lives of the people that you're changing along the way is just absolutely incredible. So my hat off to you, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, and again, thank you for the opportunity to be here. So a little bit about myself. What can I say? Born in Hong Kong, right? Raised by my mom, 5 of us by herself. My dad was, working out of the country at the time and just supporting the family that way. But my mom raised me, right? And then we immigrated here to Canada. Yay! Right? And, Jessica, I never liked school. Probably, I'm not sure why. Maybe, English was a second language and I couldn't speak the language. And I went to school and I would be bullied. I can still picture to this day being in the principal's office crying. I can still picture the kids who would beat me up. And 6 months later, my parents moved. And I thought, oh my goodness, like wow, right? Like
Yay, right.
no more bullies. So
Right.
you go to a new school and same old, just bullies show up in different faces, different kids. And I was back in the principal's office crying. And but that eventually went away. I can share with you another time how that happened, but it was pretty cool. So I didn't really like school, didn't do well in school. In grade 13, there used to be grade 13s. How many of you can relate to that? Right?
In Quebec, we don't have that.
You guys are CJ, right?
Right.
So, yeah. I remember, Jessica, I had 49% in English in my last year in high school. And to this day, I'm not sure if my teacher gave me she actually gave me a 51. I had 49, she gave me 51. So I'm not sure if she actually liked me or she just wanted to promote me out of the school. Right? And back in those days, playing backgammon in the school cafeteria, skipping classes, that was if they gave straight A's for skipping classes and playing backgammon in the cafeteria, I probably would have graduated with honors, right? So needless to say, because of that, I became an entrepreneur. And I was just not employable. Became an entrepreneur, got into the real estate industry, the direct sales industry, and then obviously now the personal development space. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of my background. Yeah,
it's amazing. Thank you for sharing that and being with us today again. I'm very, very excited. I'm always so grateful to spend time with you and really hear all the wisdom that you have to share, and always coming from a space of wanting to help. That's what I've had as a vibe the first time I met you, and still years now later, still that same vibe, that same giving person that you are. So thank you for being like that. And welcome, Lynn, because she says thank you to be there, Dad.
Hey, Dad, right, Cozy? I'm so jealous, Jessica, because there's always like empowering women events and like women, which I absolutely, like you said, I love my mom, my sisters. I have a brother, and I don't know if you guys have a brother. My brother, if he built a swimming pool, it would probably burn down.
Oh.
Right? You guys have a brother like that? They know everything. I'm just kidding. I love my brother. So if he's listening, that was just a joke. But you guys know what I'm saying? But I love, so Kosi, Dad, right? Because we're up, and moms are so important, right? And the women in our lives are so important. And I'm always so jealous, like, come on, where are those dad events? But anyways, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
maybe that'll be in your next event. When things reopen, you can create a dad event. That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be nice? Yes. Right? There'll be two of us, Kosi, my new friend, and myself.
I love it. Okay, so Gordon, we chose to talk about, I have a few questions down for you, and we wanted to talk about mentorship, but more specifically, mentorship versus coaching. What is the difference between both? Yeah,
I'll take a stab at it, Jessica. Great question from my perspective.
Yeah.
So it's just my perspective, my opinion. I think they're both pretty similar, but they are different. Right? So you have mentorship and you have coaching, and the person who's receiving that mentorship or the person who's receiving the coaching, right? The common thread would be, how do we mentor or coach that individual so they can actually achieve their hopes and dreams or goals or reach their fullest potential? Whether it's in sports or arts, entertainment, school, career, business, right? So we're mentoring and coaching someone. How do we help them reach that full potential? Mentorship, I think mentorship, in a sense, it's different. That mentorship is more about guidance. And that's why there's that GAS formula. I think I mentioned GAS, right? So for me, one of the best ways to remember mentorship is GAS, right? GAS. And the G would be for guidance. right? So we look to mentors for guidance. And think of a time when maybe you asked somebody for guidance. We think about guidance counselors in school. I'm not sure what career, right?
Right.
What courses should I take? So guidance is important, right? So guidance, the A stands for aspiration, or sorry, for advice, right? So guidance and advice. So a lot of times we may be looking just for the advice, and S for support, right? So often you and I will have conversations, and it's really just guidance or advice or support. Whereas coaching, I think coaching would be slightly different. Coaching, you could have a short-term coach or a long-term coach, and that coach will come in and have something specific that you need to work on.
Right.
Maybe a specific skill set as an example, and maybe there's a specific time frame that you want to achieve that in, and it's more structured. It's more structured. And that's one of the reasons why I personally don't like coaching. Because I know there are individuals, well, I'm a coach. And then there should be coaches. There should be life coaches. There should be business coaches. For example, you are so brilliant in coaching people to believe in themselves, right? So coaches are important. So for me, coaches usually want to charge you money. And I think they should, because if you want to get somewhere faster and quicker, you need a coach. So if I was a hockey player, which I'm not, right? So if I was a hockey player, I need strength and conditioning. Strength and conditioning coach. So if I want to get stronger, faster, right? I want to get a strength and conditioning coach. And maybe I need a nutritional coach. Maybe I need a mindset coach. So by hiring a coach, they're going to give me a specific program, a track to run on. I'm going to pay them for that. And then they're going to literally guide me through what I need to do to get there. Does that make sense?
Exactly. It makes total sense. And I saw this definition that I just found. A coach is someone who tells you what you don't want to hear and has you see what you don't want to see, so you can be who you have always known you can be. That's Tom Landry. And I love that. I love that. Do you agree?
Yeah. I think, Jessica, both can actually do that for you.
Mentorship too, yes. And the other definition I had for mentorship is, is learning from someone that wants you to grow.
Yes.
But as you're explaining GAS, which is guidance, advice, and support,
yes,
to me, in my opinion, is not necessarily going to be the things that you don't want to hear. It's going to be more of a general guidance.
Absolutely. And it's probably more long-term. It's more personal, right? A coach usually is not as personal, right? If you get a coach that's going to get in there and they are going to push you, like you said, right? They're going to tell you things that you may not want to hear, things that you absolutely need to do. Right. When I say you, I'm talking third party now.
Right.
Things we need to do. And that's what a coach is for. Right.
Right.
So I'll have individuals say to me, Gordon, can you coach me? And usually the answer is no. Right. I'll mentor them, but I won't coach them, because the minute I take money from someone, then for me, it's not fun anymore. Does that make sense? Because if I take money from someone, then they have to be accountable to me, and I have to be accountable to them. And there may be things that I'm going to do or say, like you said, and push them in a way that they may not want me to do. Right. So I leave that to coaches who do want to coach. Yeah.
Love that. So what is the importance of having a mentor? Should everybody have multiple mentors?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, mentorship's important, right? Guidance. Think of our kids, right? Look at the guidance that they're going to need. Right? Doesn't matter how old you are, you're going to need guidance, right? So guidance, advice, support. And usually a mentor will probably share their experiences with you. They may share their personal experience. They may share a story. They may share a personal experience with you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That could inspire you, motivate you, lessons that you can learn from there. A coach usually doesn't do that. right? Coach is going to tell you this is what you need to do. Just go and do it.
Yes. One of our common mentors, Mr. Byron Nelson, would often say that there is a blueprint to success, right?
Absolutely.
So by having a mentor and by them sharing their time, because we know that time is the most valuable asset that we have. So that mentor is sharing their time, but also going into sharing their story and their experience, right?
Yes.
Then you can not follow into those same steps, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Byron's mentored thousands, tens of thousands of people. We've been friends for over 3 decades now. So he is an incredible mentor. And he's also an incredible coach. Not everyone who mentors can coach, and not everyone who coach can mentor. And he's actually someone who can actually do both. Jessica, when I was in the mortgage industry, a friend of mine had a very successful business already. In fact, his wife became the first president of the Ontario Mortgage Brokers Association.
Wow.
Right. This was like probably about 30 years ago. So, I mean, that really broke the norm. I think today it's called IMBA, which used to be the Ontario Mortgage Brokers Association. So these guys were already extremely successful. But, we worked for different companies. But the one thing he taught me was it didn't matter if I was a brand new snot-nosed kid that just came off the street that was just getting started, or he was already working with someone that was a multi-millionaire that was already lending out money. He treated everyone exactly the same. And so to this day, some 30, 40 years later, you'll see me post every day above ground is a good day.
Yes.
Well, that quote came from my friend Keith. And we'll still talk. We're working on I'm working on a student housing project right now. And the first person I called was, hey, Keith, I got some questions for you about financing a student housing project. Does that make sense? So he's not my official coach, but he's someone that has been a mentor, somebody who's guided me, supported me for 30, 40 years now. And so gas, right? Like sometimes we need gas. We run out of gas. But there's days when we just want to pull out our hair. I don't know, like maybe it's just me. You ever had one of those days?
Yes.
Right?
Totally.
I mean, you're an author, best-selling author in 365 Empowering Stories. What an amazing book, right? You can't afford the luxury of negative thought. If you guys don't have a copy of that, get a copy from Jessica, right? I see that right there. 365 Empowering Stories. So as much as we talk about you can't afford the luxury of negative thought, we're all human, right? There's going to be days when things are going to get, that things are going to challenge us. And, I remember my friend Keith once said, Gordon, stay away from the SNIOPs. So again, he wasn't coaching me, but these are things that you pick up from your mentors, right?
Yes.
And so a SNIOP was, don't be susceptible to the negative influences of other people. That's what a SNIOP is, right? So we had an inside joke, stay away from that SNIOP, right? So don't be susceptible to negative influences of other people.
Yeah.
So the other acronym for me to describe mentorship would be CAPE, CAPE.
Okay.
Right? Think of your superheroes. Do you have any superheroes in your life?
Yes, of course. My mom.
Yeah, right? What would we do without our moms? Why was your mom your superhero?
Being a single mom, raised 3 kids, and working, taking care of her health, working out daily, and going to school. She completed 2 bachelor's degrees and started a master's degree with 3 young children. And we would still have activities on the weekends, dance classes. My brother would play hockey, and I would look at her and literally doing it on her own, and she would always tell us, impossible doesn't exist. You have to find a way and keep going. And, I always looked up to her strength as a mom, as a human being, and really giving she was such a great employee and such a great leader in her field.
Yes.
She's actually one of our top leaders in her field. So
Yes.
she's my hero.
That's amazing. Is your mom alive today?
She's
Your
still
mom's-
alive, yeah.
that's
Yeah,
amazing,
she's
yeah.
super young, and I'm lucky because she
That's
had me at a
amazing.
very young age. So
Yeah.
my mom is still, sorry, Mom, but she's still
Yeah.
54 years old.
Wow.
So I get to have her from.
You're so young. That's
Yes.
incredible. Well, this summer will be 11 years that my mom passed away, right? So, but think about our mom. Like, think about a superhero that has a cape.
Yeah.
Our moms, right? Can you?
Yeah.
So if you could pick a superhero, let's take a comic superhero that has a cape right now, who's the first person that comes to your mind?
Well, I don't know if Wonder Woman has a cape, but Wonder Woman or Supergirl.
Yeah, right. Like they have their capes. Like, what's that bracelet
Right.
that Wonder Woman has?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So cape. So the C would stand for confidence. Confidence, right? So think about a time when, our moms gave us the confidence that we needed to do something,
Yes.
right? Or somebody in our lives, right? A coach, a teacher, a coworker, like somebody who actually, a time when we lack confidence in this, hey, you can do it. So were they a coach, or were they just somebody who was, that maybe one of your mentors who can give you the confidence that you need to go and do and succeed? Somebody says, well, I want to start a business. I'm not sure I know how, right? I'm not sure if I have the money. And you've got somebody who says, you can do it. Like that little bit of confidence that you can do it. And, if you're watching and nobody's ever given you the confidence that you can succeed in business, Jessica and I are saying right now, we're giving you permission that you can go and do it, right? So confidence.
Yes.
So
and can I add
absolutely.
to that? Because it's really like touching me what you're saying, because when I first met Mr. Byron Nelson, I didn't have that confidence.
Yes.
I didn't. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I never thought I could.
Yes.
So having Mr. Byron Nelson as a mentor, I always wrote down, he believed in me before I could believe in myself. So to me, that's the definition of a mentor. And then
amazing?
It's absolutely amazing. Because of you, I've got to meet him because of your events that you were putting in place. And then fast forward 2020, when I reached out to you, hey, Gordon, I want to put on these Women in Power events, but COVID is happening. And then you're like, what's stopping you? Right? So you believed in me that I could do these events under these circumstances. And look, I held my first Women in Power online event March 10th, 2021, because you told me I could do it.
Wow.
Super powerful. So like Gordon just said, if you're watching today, you're with us. Hello, Peely. Hello, Lynn. Sending all that love. You're watching today. Please rewind and go listen to what Gordon said. We are believing in you. You can start whatever is on your mind.
Absolutely. And Jessica, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. And it's other individuals that have said to me, you can do it, like Byron Nelson.
Yeah.
Right? Think of the individuals he's been able to help him aspire, right? Like you had aspiration to inspire through stories, because you yourself became an author in 30 plus 1 resilient stories.
Yes.
As well. And he said, okay, I'm gonna start a series, and I'm gonna aspire to become someone who could help publish my own book, right? Inspire other authors to do the same, but you had never done it before.
Exactly.
And look at you now, like you're getting ready to inspire an entire industry of flight attendants, folks in the airline industry. So confidence, there should be 2 C's for Kate, but the second C would be communication. So your mentor can help you to become a better communicator, right? Because it doesn't matter what is in life. Like think of our kids for a minute. My baby granddaughter is now 1 year old.
Oh, congrats. So, they're so cute, by the way. They're so adorable.
Right? Yeah. And I look like my baby grandson. I haven't seen him. I talk about thank goodness for FaceTime. So I'm hoping when the airline industry opens up, we can fly to Asia.
Right.
So how many times have we heard kids are relentless when they want something?
Right.
Right. I can see it now. When my grandchildren says, "Daddy, or Grandpa, I want ice cream." It's like, no, you can't have ice cream. And they'll find like 600 different ways to ask. No matter what you say, before you know it, they walk home, they can have ice cream all over their face, all over their clothes, right? And
so true.
Yeah, so they're so good at communicating. They go so good at asking. They're so good at not accepting no for an answer. Now, sometimes no could be a no. So we have to learn, right, boundaries as well, that no is a no. But there are times where we have to learn that we have to ask without fear, right? Like my friend John Shin, the executive producer, Think and Grow Rich, the movie. By the way, Jessica, so we're in a lockdown right now in Toronto. Yeah. And so I thought, okay, well, what better way for us to come out of lockdown to celebrate together on the 30th of this month? I'm actually hosting a popcorn night, a popcorn movie night. You okay if I just share this for a minute?
Yes, please,
so
go ahead.
We're going to host a popcorn movie night. So if you guys like popcorn, you like movie. And if you like Think and Grow Rich, I don't know how many of you, I'm sure most of you have read or know Think and Grow Rich. Okay. So Think and Grow Rich, the movie, a good friend of mine, John Shin, produced a movie called Think and Grow Rich, The Legacy, the movie. And Bob Proctor's in there, Grant Cardone, I mean, you name it, like all kinds of celebrities. And so when they did their launch in California, before COVID, they rented a theater. They were expecting 600 people to show up. 6,000 people showed up to that launch. He would say, my family members were cursing at me because they wanted to get in. But anyways, we're going to do a movie screening together on the 30th.
I'm in. Okay?
So if anybody wants to watch Think and Grow Rich, The Legacy, the movie, which is a Napoleon Hill Foundation approved movie, and the tickets for that event, if you're interested, let Jessica know. We'll get you tickets, and it'll be for free.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
It'll be a free event. And then after the event, we'll have Q&A. So if you want to meet John Shin, who's the executive producer of Think and Grow Rich, the movie, you're welcome to ask him questions. And I'm sure he may have other individuals. Like this week, is it today the 11th? I can't even keep track of time. He's doing an event right now with Les Brown, Mario Lopez, right? So I don't know how I got into that, but that'll be the movie night. How do we get onto that? How did I get to that subject? That's terrible. It's called old age, right?
It's a perfect. I was sharing, my stories with you and Mr. Byron Nelson. Yes. And then yes, you were talking about Kate. So we were talking about the first C, confidence, and then the second C, communication. Yes.
Yeah. So communication is so important, right? People buy from people that have confidence. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And how we communicate is important as well. So your mentor can help you create those two C's. And I'll go through real quick. A is for aspiration. So again, we have aspirations, and sometimes we just need someone to believe in us.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just need someone to even give us that opportunity, right? But be prepared when that opportunity comes to take action and do something about it. So C, A, P, and E. E is really exposure, right? So I'll go backwards. So how do we expose other people to possibilities? You just mentioned your mom said the word, nothing's ever impossible.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's what a mentor does, is exposes them to the possibility that whatever it is that in life that you want to go out and achieve, like Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind of man can conceive, right? You got to conceive it, you got to believe it.
Yes.
And then you can achieve it.
Yes. And then P is what? Posture?
I think possibilities. Possibilities.
Yes.
Right? Yes. And posture, sure. Right?
Posture too, right?
So everyone's got a different cape, right? I mean, think like in the comment, you guys, if you're watching, what's your favorite cape? Is it like Batman? Like, do you like a Batman cape? So P, like, what's P for you? right?
I was thinking of posture. So
Posture,
you know, yeah. For those that's watching, let me know who's live,
right?
if you're still live, and let us know what is
Yeah.
your favorite hero.
Persistence, right? Persistence.
Yes.
Sometimes like it's easy to say, I quit. As much as we
Mhm.
say quitters never win and winners never quit, sometimes there's roadblocks where like, oh my goodness, what am I doing here? Why am I? And we have to persist. So how do we put on that cape? Is there somebody who says, hey,
Persevere.
Jessica, don't give up. Keep going. Is there a time? Do we know somebody who persisted? Can you think of a time when you persisted and you didn't give up?
Oh my
Right?
God. So many times.
Yeah. And the results, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's one of my really good quotes that I love is the only place success comes before work is in the dictionary.
Yes.
Yes. Vince Lombardi.
Vince Lombardi. Yeah.
It's so true. Do not give up. Keep persisting. It might not be easy. It might take some time. Just persist and go ahead and keep taking action. So for those that are just joining us now, we're talking about mentorship versus coaching. We went over with our personal opinions, what's the difference between both. What is the importance of mentorship? I talk about it often, and I know Mr. Gordon so as well. So we went over that. Gordon, what is the importance of personal growth?
Wow.
And how did it impact your life?
Wow. I mean, where do you start with that one? Personal growth. There's so many different areas in our personal growth when you think about it, right?
Yes.
There's different areas, and I'm going to make the assumption we're in this right now for this purpose. We're talking about entrepreneurship for now.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just joining, thank you, and Jessica, thank you for the opportunity to be here. I shared earlier that as an immigrant kid, I didn't do well in school, so I ended up being an entrepreneur, right? But being an entrepreneur, I struggled. I mean, thank goodness for parents. I mean, for the years when I didn't make money, at least I lived at home, right?
Right.
But there were some lean years. I don't anyone can relate to that. And then eventually I broke through in the real estate business, but it took a while. But I did have a broker who was a mentor and a coach to me. So it was kind of neat because not only did he mentor me and gave me guidance and support, but there was only 3 of us in that office. So it wasn't a big firm at the time. Eventually I went to Remax, but back then it was just the 3 of us. So he taught me, he coached me a lot as well, and a lot of hands-on training. So that helped me to succeed in the real estate business, right? But up until then, I was struggling. And then when I got into the direct sales industry, they say the third's a charm. Well, the first company, I really didn't do well. Right? The second company, I did okay. I was almost ready to hit the top, and then the company went bankrupt. And then the third company, we finally knocked it out of the park. But it took a while to get there.
Right.
And all along the way, I had mentors. I had mentors. So in the real estate industry, in the mortgage industry, because you're self-employed, I didn't have a boss. If I don't know anyone can relate to that. We were all self-employed. So if there's another agent or there's another broker that was willing to offer help and support, that was really mentorship, wasn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Right? It wasn't necessarily coaching, but it was mentorship. And then when I got into the direct sales industry, the network market, again, it was mentorship. Upline, downline, sign line, it didn't matter. The ones that truly were there, like the Mr. Byron Nelsons of the world. You know, Byron and I were in a company where we were both at the top of the company and we were sidelined to each other. We had no financial interest. But back in 98, picture 98, we would have an event here in Toronto. There'd be like 600-800 people in the room, and 3 a.m, he's still speaking to them. And nobody wants to go home. Can anyone relate to that?
Yes.
Right? We would go to a national convention, and instead of staying at the host hotel, we would take like an entire Marriott courtyard. Right? Because a courtyard would be like maybe a 5-6 story building, and then beside it, maybe a Marriott Residence Inn, and there's a Hilton Garden Inn. And a friend of mine, Frank and Terry Mueller from North Carolina, between the three of us, Byron, Terry, us, we would take up 3 buildings. And so after a convention, we would sit there. We've already gone through like an entire day, as you can appreciate. And again, like we go back to the hotel and 3 in the morning, here's Byron still sitting there and nobody wants to go to bed.
Right.
And he's just mentoring, right? Mentoring and inspiring and teaching other people to aspire to their hopes and dreams. Does that make sense, Jessica?
Oh my God. I've experienced it. So I know. And I'm hearing you mentoring, but I'm also hearing pouring.
Yeah. Pouring. That's what I believe mentorship is. A lot of mentors, they're not interested in making money from you. Okay. If you like later on, if you want me to talk about how mentorship could help you monetize, I'm happy to talk about that as well. But the majority of the mentors, if you truly want to find a mentor, if a mentor says to you, write me a check and I'll mentor you, this is just my opinion. That's the first sign that maybe they're not your mentor. Have you met coaches and mentors? I believe you need coaches. Everyone should have a coach mentor. People should have multiple coaches and mentors. It'll help you see things you don't see. It'll help you speed up the success of your business. So yes, get a coach and a mentor. But if you coach a mentor, every time they want to coach and mentor you, they want you to write another check. Then my suggestion is revisit. Is that the right coach and mentor? Because the mentors that I've had in my life that have helped me tremendously with the personal growth of my business. I guess that's a question. I didn't answer that. So in direct sales, I remember somebody said, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you see yourself? I was so arrogant. I'm thinking, I'm a 10. I really literally thought I was a 10 because I was successful in the real estate business by now. I actually realized I was a -5.
Wow.
I don't know if anyone can relate to that. I actually realized when it came to personal development and personal growth, I was a -5, right? For years, people would say to me, Rethink and Grow Rich. I probably had 10 copies sitting on a shelf collecting dust, right? Jim Rohn says leaders are readers. I would tell people, hey, you should read books, but I never read a book myself. Does that make sense? So I thought I was a leader. I thought I was a good communicator. I wasn't any of that, right? I remember one time I did a presentation. One of the first time I did a presentation, got in front of the room. I stood up, my brain sat back down. That's how bad I was, right? I remember one of my mentors said to me, Gordon, you have breath mints? And initially I thought, what do you mean? Right? He says, well, and it was his subtle way of saying, your breath stinks, right? Your personal grooming is important. And I'm not trying to say to somebody how they should dress. The other day, 2 days ago, was Jessica, I had an opportunity to speak to a group of financial planners, financial services agents. And I was trying to decide, should I wear a suit? Should I wear, be you, right? But by being you, you still have to show up. You have to show up appropriately. And so personal development, personal grooming.
Yes, love that.
Right? My shoes, there was a time when they say ladies, the first thing they do is they look at your shoes, right? So there was a time, the shoes I had, I don't even know if I even knew what shoe polish was, right? So there's so many things when it comes to personal development and personal growth. And obviously your mindset is one of the most important, if not the most important. You mentioned Vince Lombardi earlier, right? So Vince Lombardi, one of the greatest football coaches of all time, says mindset is everything. Attitude is everything. Everything is attitude. So yeah, personal development. Tony Robbins says personal growth precedes financial growth. So give that some thought. So 100%. If somebody says, I don't have the financial success I have yet, then think about what Tony Robbins says, personal growth precedes financial growth.
You're getting some love from that. Hello, Karen. She says, power, woohoo, and she says the love.
Thank you. Thank you.
I absolutely love what you're talking about, what you're sharing with us. And I want you to go back to what you said about monetizing, because it's clear, and I want to make it clear. Personal growth comes before financial growth, right?
Yes.
I'm using different words, but so important, and it's true from all the mentors I've met, the coaches I've met. Personal growth. What is your daily habit? What
Absolutely.
does your day entail? What do you do constantly? It doesn't have to be every day, but what do you do in your week? Every week, are you consistent with your personal growth? And there's so many ways. That's another topic I talk about often. There's so many ways to do personal growth.
Yeah.
I am so in love with Audible because I don't take the time to sit down and read an actual book. I do it sometimes at night, but you know what? I'm doing my dishes, I'm cleaning the house, I have my earphones, and I am listening to my audiobook. So what are you doing? Share with
you got to do what works for you, right? Maybe it's watching a TED Talk. You know, in my days, I was listening to audio cassettes. So Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy. So now I'm dating myself. My kids like, Dad, what the heck is an audio cassette? Right? I'd be driving to Florida with the kids. And I was listening to so many audios back then, Jessica, that my kids would have been between 3 to 8, let's say.
Yes.
And I would be listening to an audio tape. So let's say I'm listening to Byron Nelson right now.
Yes.
They had heard me listen to that tape so many times, they could finish the speaker's sentence. Right? So how do you turn whatever you have into a learning university for you? I didn't go to university. You know, the joke in our family is all 3 of my kids are university grads. My wife's a university grad. Some of them are, have their masters, and they're always joking like, Dad, you're the only uneducated bum in the entire family.
Oh my God.
So I would laugh at them. I'd say, yeah, but I'm a rich bum, right? So, but what works, just do what works for you. Some people like affirmations, then do affirmation if that works for you, but be consistent with what you're doing. So as a mentor, what's really neat is if you give without expecting anything back, like if you truly find someone that you want to pour into, okay, that law of reciprocity always comes back, in my opinion, tenfold. And I've already seen it with yourself, Jessica, right? Of the individuals that you've already referred to us as well, without asking, which is incredible. So, a friend of mine is a dentist. In fact, he was one of my RVPs. Okay, he's a neuromuscular dentist. And we became friends for years. And there were times when he would call me for guidance, advice, and support for some of the businesses he had. So he knew that I loved hockey because my son was a hockey player. So he called me one day and he said, Gordy, I've got this new device. Okay.
Yes.
And one of my patients came into the office and said, Doc, a lot of my pain's gone, but when I lift traps out of the water, they feel much lighter. And then he said, I had this mom come in and said, Doc, a lot of my jaw pain, like he said, a lot of my pain's gone. There's days when I feel suicidal, but it's all gone and I've got so much energy. There's days when I feel like throwing my kids across the room. Not that she would, right? So he said, I've got all these stories of individuals saying they got more balance, more power, more stability, more endurance, more flexibility. So he thought, well, could this work on athletes? Okay, so he went to a Canadian national kickboxing champion. The guy was punching hard, kicking higher. And then he went to talk to professional athletes. So he called me. So I introduced him to somebody who knew Mike Richards, who was the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers that year. So we fitted him with a neuromuscular mouth guard. And that week, he was player of the week. Now, maybe that's just a coincidence, right? Then we fitted Shaquille O'Neal, the basketball player, and we resurrected his career. And then we fitted the New Orleans Saints, and they won the Super Bowl. So now is that a coincidence? Lindsey Vonn, who's the world's #1 downhill skier, won't ski without that mouth guard at the time. Bodie Miller, professional golf players, and the list just went on and on. And because I gave him guidance, I gave him connections, one day he called me up and he said, Gordon, could you become our interim COO?
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Right.
I didn't ask for that.
Right.
But because of the mentorship I was given him and the reciprocity and the business contacts I got out of that, I ended up, going to Attack Athletics and meeting Michael Jordan. I went to Michael Jordan's gym, Attack Athletics. And that same trip, I met Oprah's executive producer. His son was 16 years old. He was a volleyball player. And with that neuromuscular mouth guard, we improved his vertical leap by 3 inches. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Right? We ended up going to California and we went to Mario Lopez's home. Remember Mario Lopez, Dancing with the Stars?
Yes. We
fitted him with a guard because he wanted to box and exercise with it. For that same trip, we met, you ever seen the show The Bachelor?
I just, in all honesty, I've only watched the first ever season. After that, I'm not a big TV watch. Like, I don't like to watch TV. But yes, I know the show.
Yeah. So Chris Harrison, right? I would have never met Chris Harrison, but because of this mouth guard, you think mouth guard. So Chris Harrison improved his swim time, bike time, and running time. Can you imagine? As a triathlete, how many triathletes do you know out there? Incredible, right?
Right.
And we ended up having lunch with them in Hollywood. So the individuals that we met, the professional players, like pro golfers, you name it, and the business that we drove directly as a result of that mentorship that I didn't charge for, to this date, we're still reaping that award, those rewards. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes. I love what you're sharing. Oh my God, it's so powerful. And it's true. You never know when you're giving, you're mentoring somebody, you never know what could end up, what you just shared, right? Who you're going to meet. Oh, it's so powerful. Okay. So Gordon, this is a Women Empowerment Wednesday show, right? And I absolutely love to have men on the show once a month because it is super important for me, and I think for many others watching, to have that conversation with men. I want to hear from you. Why is it important to talk about women empowerment with men? Why is it important to have that conversation with you guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. And just from my perspective, Jessica, again, going back to, my mom raised me.
Yes.
Not that my dad did, but I remember being 4 years old and the stranger came to the door. We're still in Hong Kong. This total stranger came to the door. And to this day, I can still visualize myself standing there with my arms like this at the door. And the stranger's looking at me and says, I'm your dad. I mean, talk about that Star Wars moment, right? And I'm like, no, you're not my dad. Like, no one is getting in here. Like, I was my mom's little boy. I was my mom's little big man. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So my mom's been my hero all my life. Somebody who never went to school, couldn't read, couldn't write. And I look at, when she went from China to Hong Kong, that's like a new country for her, right? And then when she went from Hong Kong to Canada, like now, as we get older, now we start to understand, wow, like how did our parents ever do it? Does that make sense? Like they couldn't speak the language, they had no money. And I don't ever remember a time when I was a kid, like we were probably poor. I didn't know I was poor until somebody told me that I was poor. But our parents, my mom always found a way to take care of us. And my sisters, I joked about my brother, but my 4 sisters, oh my goodness, like thank goodness for sisters. Because if there was a black sheep in the family growing up, I was that black sheep of the family. And the amount of times that my sisters were there to bail me out is that just absolutely incredible. Like no judgment. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, right? So I've had some really important, women in my lives. My wife, it's incredible. My daughters, and then a friend of mine, Randy Goodman, right? What we were able to do with the Toronto Women's Six for the Empower Women Succeed series, and now she's gone from A single mom raising 4 boys on her own. That's crazy. Think about trying to raise 4. And now she's an 8 times international best-selling author.
Right.
Successful real estate agent. But her conferences, her events, her books, everything is just crushing it. But so helping women to succeed is important, but that's never been, I'm not sure how to describe it. I've never looked at I've never thought of it any different. Like whether I'm talking to you or I'm talking to Byron, I just see individuals. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I just see individuals, right? There's no race, there's no color. It's not if it's women or men. I've just been brought up that everyone's equal. Now, here's the thing. One of my mentors, maybe this is one of my influences that I don't even know. Jessica, one of my Sunday school teachers when I was growing up, I remember he was so broke as a student. He bought, when he asked his wife to marry him, ready for this? His ring came out of a Cracker Jack box.
Oh my God. True story?
True story. Think about this for a minute. If someone proposed to you right now and said, honey, I promise you, for now, this is the ring from a Cracker Jack box, but one day I'm going to buy you a real diamond. Can you picture that for a minute? Like, would you say yes to that guy?
Yes.
Right? So she said yes. And he went on to become the CEO for Mary Kay Cosmetics.
Wow.
He took them, I think, from about $250 million in sales to about $4 billion in sales. Now, obviously, Mary Kay started the company. We know that.
Yeah.
Right? But there was a time when Mary Kay's kids walked away from the business, and him being a Canadian, right? So there's some really amazing Canadian stories here.
Right.
He became the CEO for Mary Kay Cosmetics. A lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
And so he's went on his own company. He's done he's done about $40 to $50 billion in sales. He's got several direct sales companies where they do a lot of home parties. So obviously it's not cosmetic. Right. And I saw him, I watched him. And when people say like, Mary Kay, you can't make money, it's direct sales and they have pink Cadillacs. Yeah, I like one of those pink Cadillacs right now. Right? And the successes, right? And I've seen how he had empowered women for years and years and years. But I don't think it's just even him empowering women. There are so many amazing women out there that they're going to succeed no matter what. They're going to succeed no matter what. They just needed to have someone that believed in them. And they just needed to be given that runway.
Yes.
And they just soar. Yeah.
Take off.
Yeah.
Are you ready to take off today?
Are you ready to take off? Right? Yeah.
Oh my God. I love this. I think this was like the mic drop because you're going into my alley of my aviation love and taking off and also what Gordon told you and what I told you as well. Believe in yourself because we believe in you. Oh, I love it. Hi, Marissa. Hello. Thanks for being with us. So Gordon, you're working on multiple projects. One of them, the big one, being the co-founder of London for Success. Why am I mentioning that? Because I was not a big networker. Like I haven't been to multiple events about networking, not that many anyways. And when you started promoting London for Success, and I attended one of your networking events that were free, online, COVID friendly, right? And really seeing the power and the organization and the host and everything, how it was run, I fell in love and I can't wait. So share a bit more about those networking events. When's the next one? And what are you guys doing with London for Success? It's amazing.
Wow. Thank you, Jessica. Well, it's easy to remember when our events are. Okay? You don't even have to write this down. Last Thursday of every month.
Love it.
Right? Do me a favor, say it together. Like last Thursday every month, right? Last Thursday of every month. So if you're looking for an opportunity where you can actually network, right? A safe environment, you can network, you can come and promote your business, your product, your services.
Right.
the last Thursday of every month.
Awesome.
And it's on Zoom. Obviously, with COVID, we can't meet in person right now. And that actually started by accident, right?
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. So Landed for Success, my friend Jay Jayakanthan, who's my co-founder, business partner. Jay has a slightly similar story to me, but I mean, his experiences are different because he came to Canada when he was a teenager. And I was younger, so I was probably more sheltered, I think, right? So he's got different experiences. I'm not sure if some of you could relate to, some of these immigrant stories. And like Jessica, like myself, we met at a business networking event, and Jay and I have met at business events for about a decade. We've always supported each other with, okay, well, one day, what if we could do something together? Right. And so you've seen the books and the authors we've been able to help succeed in collaboration books and so on. So we go, well, let's start a collaboration book called Landed for Success. And here's why. Like, how many of us can remember, my dad, right? Think about, you're at the breakfast table or dinner, or your parents or somebody say, well, when I was young, like, something like my dad's always like, I came to Canada, I had 50 cents in an apple in my pocket, right? My Uncle Diego, my adopted uncle, Uncle Diego, right, was one of my best real estate investors. And he was an electrician. He would buy houses from me. He would fix them up. He would flip them. And his son was one of my best friends. He was a framer. He was a carpenter. His brother, Luigi, was a tiler. So you can imagine they would buy houses, build, fix them up. And I remember one day, Jessica, he was out there with an axe pick, right? You ever see that story with 3 Feet from Gold with Napoleon Hill?
Yes.
Right? So today, right, kids would be out there with a jackhammer because it's easier. It's like, hey, here's a jack. Here he is, like 60 some odd years old. He's got an axe pick. I mean, talk about work ethic.
Oh my God.
Right? So how many of us know immigrants who have stories, their challenges, their struggles? Let's create a book. That's how Landed Success was born. And then Samantha Glass, who's also a co-author with you in 2 books, right? 365 Empowerment Stories. 30
and
plus
shout
1.
out to Samantha because she donated 10 plus copies of 365 for my cause because I'm collecting all the money for my little sister with cerebral palsy. So really big shout out and love to you, Samantha.
Yes. Get a book, you guys. Support Jessica. So Samantha said, look, I'm not an immigrant, but I have a story. And so now we've evolved into not just immigrant stories, but story. Like, think of anybody who has a story, untold story. So volume 2 is going to be from burned out to victory, right? So we'll be launching volume 1 in May, but volume from burned. So who do you know has a story where they burned out and they've been able to survive and thrive, right? From burnout to victory. So then we started out with a book. And we started doing events. We had our first event in February, March last year. Free events, unheard of, right? Inspiration, motivation, networking. And then COVID hit. And so Jay said, let's do online events. And I thought, that's never going to work. Have you ever had someone tell you it's not going to work?
Yes.
Right? So I said to Jay,
I can't believe it's coming out from your mouth.
Right? That's not going to work. And we had our first event and we've never looked back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your group has like almost 16,000 people in that Facebook
Come and
group.
join us. Yeah, 16,000.
Join. That's a lot of people. Marissa says, oh yes, thank you, my friend. I will be there. I am one blessed person to have encountered such beautiful people in my life. So much love to you, Marissa. Thank you. Okay, so Gordon, we're gonna start wrapping up.
Okay.
Oh my God, time flies. I'm going to read the 2 quotes that I had picked for today. It was in regards to mentors. So a mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself.
Yes.
And mentor, it's learning from someone who wants you to grow. So it's all in that alignment.
Yes.
Really that love and that guidance. I love the gas and the cape, that you suggested earlier. So if you're just watching now, you're just joining now, please go back, watch from the beginning, because Gordon gave us a lot of great wisdom, great coaching, great mentoring. I always love to spend time with you, Gordon. I'm always very grateful for everything that you do for me. My Aunt Lynn says, good job, thank you. Because, you know, I'm not going to get into the whole story because I want to wrap up, but you've been such a pillar in everything that I'm building now. And so maybe we'll have a part 2 and celebrate the launch of my new book.
That'd be amazing. Yes.
Gordon, where can people best connect with you? Which social media platform? Where can they follow you?
I think the best way to connect is go to landedforsuccess.com. Go to the website, and from there, it'll be simple for you to click on a link and join our Facebook group. There's about, I think, Jessica, you mentioned, I'm losing track. There's like 15, 16,000 people there now. Yeah. So start there. I would suggest start there. And if you can come join us on the 29th, right, for our speed networking event. My challenge for you is start thinking about you have 30 seconds to present, right? We all know what a 30-second elevator pitch is, but can you describe what you do in 25 words or less, and have people want to pick up the phone and book an appointment with you? Yeah. And I stole that from a TV show I just recently saw called 25 Words or Less, a game show. Wow. So I think that's the best way to go there. And if you need to, get a hold of me, Jessica's got my info, or just send me an email at info@landedforsuccess.com. And if I can help you, I'd love to. And if you can join us for our popcorn movie night on April 30th to watch Think and Grow Rich together, let me know. We'll send you some free tickets to come and join us.
Awesome. So everybody that's watching, come and join us for the movie night. We'll share the details in the Women Empowerment Facebook group by Jessica DSB. And also, if you follow Gordon's Facebook page as well, you'll have all the details and Landed for Success. So once again, Gordon, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody that's watching. I'll be back next week with another incredible guest. And you all have an absolutely amazing rest of the day, okay? See you.
Thank you.
If you have enjoyed today's episode, please share with the people that you love and care about. Jessica DSB.